So ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with today's session. Today's session is the third among the series of building WordPress themes. We are concentrating on building a classic theme, and we are basing on a one-page website built by W3 Schools. It's a wedding theme, and I think it's easy. It looks cool and it's easy to work around. So in today's session, I believe we shall be able to conclude it. And later I'm in recorded tutorials. I may bring sessions on how to improve the approach we've used, because the approach we've used might not necessarily be the best approach. Okay, depending on the coding standards, maintainability, code readability, and extendability, so on and so forth. So allow me to begin today's session. So in today's session, as we conclude, the first thing we are going to look at is simply the first thing we are going to look at is changing the title bar of our WordPress website using a theme. So for example, if we go to our WordPress website, which is here, I'll click it. For those of you who are new, who are watching this for the first time, just know we've had two parts before, which the links you can find in the description of this video. And because you may wonder why have we started from here where you've not been. So the thing is, where we are starting with is simply because we've concluded 2 sessions, and those previous sessions are about a total of 2 hours. You can check them out and learn. All right, so if you go to our WordPress website, you can see that the title is Wedding Invitation. Okay, but at the same time, you can see that the website name is WP Admin Notes. Also, it's important to know that if you go to the WordPress dashboard, there is something here which is settings, where we can change many particulars about the website. So for example, if we called this website WP Dev Sessions, if we called it that, and then develop the tagline, we may call it develop WP plugins and themes. Okay, develop professional and functional WP plugins and themes. What if we wanted it to be like that? Then of course, where we are, our time zone where I am is UTC or GMT +3. Yeah, so this is what we have. But then if we go to visit our website, we realize that the website still shows Wedding Invitation. Of course, the theme we are building is called Wedding Invitation, but that's not the name of the website. So how to change how the website, what appears in the title bar of the website, is by using the get blog info, and it takes only 2 parameters, both of them being strings. One is a filter. The first one is a show, which is definitely set to an empty string, and the filter, which is set to raw, and this function returns a string value. You know what it returns by looking at this. Anything that appears after the full colon that you see is what the function returns. So if we take a quick look at the description of this function, it says possible values for show include name, which is the site title, and it is usually set in settings, general. So if we go to settings, we see site title here, and that's one of the options that you can give as the first parameter of get blog info. There is description, which is the site tagline. You can see that. So, and many others that you can add: the HTML type, version, cassette, and text direction. A lot of things can be added here, but we are going, in this scenario, we are going to use the site tagline and then the name. So let's see how. We shall go to our code editor, which is here, and we need to do this in the header. I'll first close these, all of these. So we need to put these get blog info in the header sections of the theme, the header section in the title tag or in the title HTML tag. So here it's on line number 4, and I will type echo php echo get blog info. Okay, you can do that, and then we can say that it will show the name. So this is something we can do, and then we can go ahead and save. Okay, so now if I come back to our website and refresh, you see that WP sessions has changed, and this is how helpful that section is, that function is. But if we try, I'll take this, let me try to take this to another browser. Why am I taking it to another browser? I'm taking it to another browser to avoid having WP admin styles appearing in the source code. So I'm going to take it to Firefox, and then so that we can try to view something that I want us to see. Okay, so here you go. All right, now okay, I'll maximize that, then I'll paste my link, and you can see, you can know that you are not logged in because you don't see the admin menu bar at the top of the website. Then I want us, you can still see the title or the site name, but I want us to view the page, and you can see that this website has some meta tags like name, content, and it has name robots, name, viewport, but there's an important meta tag that is missing, which is the description, where we usually had some search engine related content. Now, how we can add that is very simple. It's very simple. I just don't know why this keeps on bothering me, but it's okay. So we shall go to our content editor over here, and we can add the meta tag. Okay, so and add the meta tag for search engine friendliness. It will have name as description, and then it will have content, and content equals to something. These are HTML attributes. Then here we can say get blog info, and we can put here description. Remember, in the definition of this function, the function had 2 parameters, but we are passing in 1 because we are not much concerned about the second, and the engine won't raise an error because both of these parameters have default values. All right, so we shall save that, and we can go to Firefox, reload, and see if our addition has worked. Okay, view page source, and definitely here it is on line number 9. For those of you can't see, I've tried to zoom in. Line number 9 is what we've added. Name, description, content. Now, develop professional and functional WP plugins and themes. Remember where we added it from? We added it in the general settings of the WordPress website, which is here. You can of course tweak that around to accommodate descriptions on different WordPress posts and pages, but it's beyond the scope of this session. However, it's something you can search to compare. You can search around how to display different content on WordPress homepage or front page from other pages and posts. You should see conditional statements that compare if a WordPress website is a home page or not. Now we can continue and go to something else, which is the footer, because if you take a look at the footer, yeah, it has powered by AbleState, you know, but you may want things like copyright, you know. So how do you do that? You can still go ahead, just open the footer file, and remember the footer file and the header file, usually they are included in all pages, which means that they can they can appear on any page unless you've built a custom template part. Remember in the previous session, we built a custom template part for the home page of the website, and we have a general one, which is like this file over here, header-home.php is a template part, and we decided to use this on the home page and took header.php as the general, and usually WordPress will be able to know which one to display depending on what you've suggested in the get header function. So here I want to put the website for AbleState Cloud. This is in the footer, so that when someone clicks on it, they go to AbleState Cloud. The title, I'll replace it with AbleState Cloud, so that if someone hovers over this link, they will see the title of whatever we added. Now I want to add something like a copyright message, so I can put an HTML entity to put the copyright symbol, and I'll put our site was maybe our company was started in 2010, and then I also want to show that the copyright covers from 2010 up to today. So that means I'll echo date. This is a PHP function, and I will put year, which is a Y, capital Y or uppercase Y, and that represents the year. So if I save this, we shall definitely see something on our site. And let's go and refresh. Of course I have to close this, reload. Then if I scroll down, you can see copyright 2010 up to 2023, powered by AbleState Cloud. If we click AbleState Cloud, what is gonna come is that in the new tab, a website that we specified in the link will be opened, and that's the website for AbleState Cloud. Alright, so let's proceed. After changing whatever appears in the title section, of the web page or the website and the footer. Now we can proceed to adding more sections to our page. And if you preview here, we have a section for you are invited, the wedding, and how can you make it. Then we have some interesting thing, which is the menu. All right, because you see on the when the menu is clicked, you know, we can navigate to the different sections of the website. All right, there's one thing that I don't know if I showed you. The title we added is for the title attribute we added is for that you see there. If I hover, the word has changed to green. That is the color is determined by CSS, but then there is a small tooltip which is in gray and the word is white. That is the importance of the title, and the reason we add it is for accessibility reasons. So if you want to build websites that are accessible and search engine friendly, those are some of the attributes you don't want to miss in your website, whether the website is just HTML or anything. All right, now without further ado, let's go to work on different sections. Now, what I've done prior to the session is to prepare some things. For example, if we go to the pages, you can see hope you can make it, the wedding, and you are invited. I've added these as individual pages in the WordPress dashboard, but you can approach this differently. For example, you may decide to build your theme using a page builder completely. You may decide to build your website using a page builder completely and you get an empty theme to use, or you may decide to use theme options. Like for example, if I click admin notes, pardon me, I meant option pages. Like for example, this is an option page that you can build forms where you can add different contents of the different sections, and you can pull that content from those different sections for you to be able to see what really for you to make life easier. However, the purpose of this video or these sessions is to walk you into how the different things, the different ways you can approach it, and also for you to learn some functions that are inbuilt in WordPress. All right, so we are going to follow our previous way, which was a little bit confusing, but the more you repeat something, then the higher the chances of you becoming better. So here you can see we have our section which gets Jen and John section from the WordPress pages. So we are going to pick another one, and this other one we are going to pick, we shall not rewrite all of this code. Instead we shall highlight it, copy and paste, and after that we can indent. So we can try to indent our code so that it looks a little bit more improved, only that the code editor is not that friendly to handle it, because if I click tab for all, it doesn't really work. So all I need is to find the slug or the path for the page I want, and the page I want is called you are invited, so which is this one. Now I'll click quick edit and the slug is here, so I'll copy that. Another way to find a slug is by you may not click quick edit, just click the page, and whatever you see after the first forward slash is considered the page path or the slug if you look at the URL. So after the first forward slash the rest is the slug or the path. Now I'll put it over here. I'll paste that, and then I will show the page title, of course, and the post content. Then I can go ahead and click save. Now after clicking save, we can go to Firefox, reload, and see if the page, if this section has been brought into place. And you can see it has been brought with the word of course, and you are invited. Now we need to go to W3 Schools and see if we've achieved everything. If you see we have not yet achieved everything, because this section has a background, but and these words are white, but ours, they are black. We don't have background, and this is not centered. So how can we go about that? One is that we need a background image to appear on the title and also the text. But how can we add a background image? WordPress has a powerful feature known as featured image, but you can see that it's not on the page. It's not on the page. What can we do? WordPress supports theme setups, which we can include in our functions.php. So we are going to open functions.php to tell the theme that it supports some, to tell WordPress that if the installed theme supports this feature, open it and share it and enable it. So how can we do that? It's not very complicated. So we shall just go ahead here and create a new function. Mind you, we are creating this in functions.php. Okay, you shouldn't create it anywhere else. Maybe if you feel like, you may create it in a separate plugin file, but don't put it in any other files of the theme. If you are doing custom things, or if you are doing things that you know that need to be re-edited in the future, try your level best to put them in functions.php. Now we are going to create a function. Okay, and this function, we are going to call it, we shall give it a short how do you call it, the abbreviation or the initials of our theme, which is WIT, and to make it unique, so that if we submit this theme to the WordPress repository, they find it unique. Then we shall add other words like theme setup, and it's a function, so we have to have the parentheses and open brackets. Now here we shall call a WordPress function called theme support. All right, and then we pass in an argument, post thumbnails, and this is quite helpful. Now before we proceed any further, I would like to take you to the WordPress developer page to see what this is all about. So what this function add theme support is all about. So you see, this as its signature shows that it has a string as the first argument or parameter. It has mixed in terms of like arguments. So arguments can have, in terms of arrays, so this can have like many things, for example, strings, floats, so on and so forth. So that's why it's mixed args. And then it returns a void or a false. And if you read it, they say must be called in the themes functions.php file to work. If attached to a hook, it must be after theme setup. The init hook may be too late for some features. So they go ahead and show us two examples. One is like the one we are going to use. The second one is here, which you can see that specifies the second argument. Then they go ahead to tell you about the parameters. Just a moment, I'm being disturbed by Siri, but it's okay, I've put it out of way. Now that's how this thing works. Now after calling it or invoking it in a custom function here, we need to add it to a hook. We need to add our function to a hook. And how we are going to do that is, we use add action, and then we've been warned that we need to make sure that we specify it in a certain we've been informed here above here, where here if attached to a hook, it must be after theme setup. The init hook may be too late, but then we are not invoking this entirely, so we are attaching a custom function, and the custom function we are going to let's see, the custom function we are going to add is, let's see, so is this one. So we may specify the init hook, and if it doesn't work, we can specify the after theme setup. And once we do this, we are good to go. But at the same time, we can make sure that we prevent this hook from running by using if function doesn't exist. So this exclamation mark means not. Okay, and which function are we trying to check whether it's not existing? It's this function over here, the WIT theme setup. We are trying to check if it does not exist. Now if it does not exist, this code will be executed. So all of this code, we shall put it in there if, and then we can save. That helps you not to rerun the same function twice or many times. So after doing that, we can go to WordPress. Over here, here, and we can reload and see if it has worked. Oh, call to undefined function exist. Yes, that's a wrong spelling. It should be function exists. Let's see. Let me hope I've no. Yeah, it's function exists. And this is a PHP function. Is it a PHP function? Yeah, I think it's a PHP function. It's not a WordPress function. So we can go ahead here and reload. And it seems it's working, but the thumbnail that I want to support doesn't look to appear. So what could we have done wrong? Add theme support, post thumbnails. and I think this is how it should be. Okay, probably what I'm gonna do is to put the action outside the function, outside the if, and we try and see. So we can save and come back to reload. Pardon about my internet. Oh no, it's not showing up. It might not show up because, okay, let me see. Oh, but let me see. Enable post thumbnail in Gutenberg WP editor, because the editor that comes in WordPress is called Gutenberg. So okay, featured image block. Do we need an image block? I don't think we need a featured image block. We needed just an option, and let's see. So somebody, I just updated a plugin and the feature section is now visible. So here someone says, I've tried to add the thumbnail section but it didn't work. So probably that's it. Probably that's the thing. Probably Gutenberg doesn't support this, or what we may do is to go back here and we check the after. We may go ahead and check the after this hook here, after theme setup, because they said the init might be a little bit late. So I'll go here and change init to after setup theme, then I'll save and come back and reload our page here. Load here, then go to page and see if it's there. So I'll go to you are invited and check whether it's there. Oops. I don't see it anywhere. So I don't see it anywhere. Now in that case, we may have to choose to go to use the editor to have this work, but we may have to use the visual editor to have this work, but it's not what I wanted. Maybe the knowledge I have for that feature is out of date, but I really doubt. So one way to do this is by trying to install a classic editor plugin like this one over here. I'll try to install it, activate, and then I don't know if I need. Okay, now I'll go to a page and I'll click you are invited. Then I want to see here if I can see that even on the Classic editor, you see once we installed the Classic editor, the Gutenberg editor went away. So the Gutenberg editor is the block editor. So if you are building a theme like the one we are building, the best option to go with could be the Classic editor. Now we need to come over here and check. I've clicked on screen options, and I can honestly see that the post thumbnails is not there. So which means that in our code there could be something wrong, and it is okay. I say function not exists, then create the function, and in this function add theme support that, and did I end the if? Yeah, I ended it, and oh, oh, you can't imagine it. I think the mistake is here on the underscore. I put an underscore here. The mistake could be there because it's supposed to be an hyphen. So I'll go back to our WordPress website and reload. Yeah, looks like we got it now. So here it is, featured image. Now after bringing it, I want to see if the Gutenberg editor supports it by disabling the Classic editor. Yep. So sometimes you just have to install another plugin to troubleshoot. There are many ways to so yeah, you see that here it is. So it is supported. The problem was we were approaching it wrongly. I put an underscore here instead of the hyphen. Now I can try to take this action back to here inside the if, so that it can only run if this function does not exist. Yeah, I'll try. If it doesn't work, I'll take it back. So save and reload. Pardon my internet. Yes, so where I put it, the action is not executed. So I should just leave the action outside of the if, and we know that should work. All right, now let's we wanted that featured image for a reason. We want to use it to specify a background image for the website section, which is this section over here. So let's go ahead and do it. How can we get the thumbnail from from the page? What we can do is that here we've already gotten the page, but can we get its thumbnail? One of the things I do when I'm still building is to run a var_dump function, which helps me to see what things are in a certain variable. Of course, this might not be the best thing to do, so I will just go ahead and save, and then I can go to the website. Oh, wait a moment, we have to first go back to the editor and click set featured image. Looks like the internet is too bad. So this is the image we want. I'll click set featured image, but setting it is not enough. So after setting it, we update the page, and then we have to go to the code and pull this featured image or retrieve it. So, but we need to see in which, how can we get it, So we want to see on the, let's reload the page. Oh my goodness, page, I wasn't seeing the, whenever I right click I wasn't seeing. So here there are a lot of things about the page, but unfortunately I don't see anything related to the featured image. Here this looks a little bit unreadable, so to make it more readable for troubleshooting purposes, you can go ahead and echo pre-tags. You echo the open pre-tag, and you echo the closing pre-tag. It will format for you and give you somehow a better visual representation of whatever is stored in a variable. And since the page variable is holding an object, so this is how you can see it. It shows you things here like post author, date, content, title, but it's not talking about the thumbnail. I don't see it anywhere. So when you don't see it, just go to either the WP developer website or to Google and say retrieve WordPress page post thumbnail. Okay, they have several functions that are going to help you. Like now this says get the post thumbnail, this says get the post thumbnail URL, and I think get the post thumbnail URL is a little bit better because we want to use this as a background, which means that if we want to use it as a background, we want to ensure that we can put it in CSS. So the function takes in an integer post or a post object, and then it also can take in a string or integer of arrays and of post thumbnail to specify the size. All right, so you can specify post thumbnail in terms of size, or you can specify other things like large, so on and so forth. So here here you can see that this is how they are using it, you see. So we are going to try the similar thing. Okay, we are going to try the similar thing and copy this and paste. If the page is found, you can now put this here. So, but instead of using get the ID, we may use page then ID. Then yeah, I think that will work. Why? Here we can see that we have a key ID on the post object. So of course you understand this convention if you took some time to study PHP and learn about objects. So I can now delete this debugging thing, and now I'm echoing the URL to see if I've got it so that I can use it further. I'll save and then I will reload. Okay, I'll reload here And yeah, here it is. They are giving me the full path. Now I can apply it to this section, but how? I have to go to W3 schools in the try it now, and I look for the section which is reading you are invited. Where yeah, it is, you are invited. And where this one shows that there's BG image 2. And what can I do now? Because I cannot take this to the CSS, all I'm gonna do in the CSS file, all I'm gonna do is to use inline CSS. Okay, for example, I can go here and put style tag, then I can specify a class. I think it was BG image 2, and then background image, do this, then URL. In the URL I can put PHP code, echo this, whatever the URL we've retrieved from the post. And I believe this should be enough, but besides that, we also need to copy the right classes for this section, and the right classes are these, you can see. So I'll copy that for the outer div, come over. So the outer div is this one. I'll paste that and then go for the second div, which is this one. Yeah, this is gonna be really helpful. Where is it now? This one here. It's in a div, paste, and then I'll go back and copy this for the H1, okay, class, which has the title, and then I'll remove all of these, put this, and also remove the bold tags. Then I need to put this in H2 because it's the HTML I've seen. Remember that you build the WordPress plugin usually when you are done building the front end from a UI. So you'd have designed the UI using a graphical editor software, then you can do other things like breaking down the UI into an HTML. Alright, then there's something I've noticed, which is this section doesn't seem to have an ID, so we have to remove this ID over here. Yeah, then yeah, let me cross check the BG image. Yes, it's 2, so I'll go ahead in the editor and save. Okay, after saving, it's time to preview. Error, unexpected string content, expecting else if or else on end if, line number 22. Yeah, so let's go there, line number 22. So it's around here, and it says, oh, hold on, if then we've done this, and oh, I think it's because I didn't put a closing PHP tag here. I think that's the reason. So that's the first error I've noticed. Save, and then reload. Yep, here you go. So the only challenge we have is you are invited has not taken the styles we specified. And why that? So here it says class jumbo, and then oh, see another mistake on this line. On line number 26, we did not put the quotation mark, not the quotation mark. How do we call those? Yeah, I think it's the quotation marks. We did not put them to the closing one. So it was considering that this attribute was going all the way to cover all other HTML tags below it, but I think this will fix the error, and then we shall be able to continue. That's it. That's it. Was that very hard? So this enables you to know how to add, support for thumbnails in your theme, because some websites need thumbnails, especially news websites need thumbnails, and if you do not specify them, you might not offer the user experience that someone needs. Now we need to add two sections before we go. The section, one of them is, let me go here, are they three? Okay, we need to add like 4 sections. This, the wedding, and hope you can make it, and then the menu. Now let's take a look at the wedding. It should be easier because it doesn't have a background image. So if we go to the editor, we shall realize that for it, we don't have to bother specifying the featured image, because for it, the image is part of the content like this. It's just part of the content, like the same way text would be. And to create these side-by-side content, I used the editor. The block I used is I clicked this, and then I used the columns block and chose these two, then added the content. All right, so I don't need this. I was using it for demo. Remove these columns. Now this means that, if you've guessed it right, this means that we can use this section over here, paste it down, and we can now go to the wedding page. Remember what I told you about the slug? So here we've seen the slug is here, or the permalink, and it's the one we are supposed to specify on this line. Yeah, after specifying it, we can remove this because we don't need this style. Okay, and now what we can do is to save, and we can now reload and then go change some style sheets, styles depending on how. Yeah, you can see that we have this thing, it's in the center, and we have something basically which is not bad. But what the problem we have is that I can set background image here, which is not supposed to be. Probably it's how I've done what? Yeah, because I've specified this image 2 here, which is not supposed to be specified on that section. I also have to come here and pick the exact styles for this thing, and the styles are here. Pardon me, they look a bit many, so I'll copy them, and like here, paste, and then let me go for another. I don't know, zoom keeps jumping from where it's supposed to be. and distract us. Then copy and come to this other one, add that class, then go back to here. So we have the heading, and we have the heading. We are going to leave the image classes because last time we realized that we couldn't really add them in the Gutenberg editor. So we have this heading which has class like that, and I think for now that's it. I think that is enough. So I can reload over here and see what is gonna happen. Yeah, basically, yeah. So now to align these, like if you go back to our preview of the theme, that's why I told you that some things you may use the editor and so on and so forth. So you can see here that this is bold and this is bold. So we can go back and let's see how ours looks. So this is not bold, and let's go to the editor here, and I think we can just do instead of H. Okay, I'll leave it to H2. Then this one I'll do bold, and this one I can block, come to block, then text. This is color, no size. I can make it small, and this one typography I can make it small. Those are all Gutenberg. In classic editor it might not be like this. Yeah, so if we update and we go to our site, reload, what do we get? Yeah, looks a bit similar to what we have in the theme on W3 schools. So what else? We have some other sections to add, which are excuse me, which is this one and then the menu. So let's go and add this section, which is also, we are going to add it quite similar to the way we've added the previous one, and it won't be hard. We shall copy and paste the code, and then we have to find the path for that particular page. So I'll go here and I'll go to hope you can make it. Then I can go ahead and get the URL, because the way I'm retrieving the page from WordPress programmatically, I'm using get page by path, and then I can go ahead, save, and we see how it looks. Then we start picking the styles from W3 schools. Okay, so yeah, here you go. So the information has come. All we need now is to style. And how are we gonna do that? Simple. We shall go to W3 schools, try it now, and then here, and start copying the right full classes that we need, or attributes that we need. Someone might wonder, why are we doing that? We are doing that because W3 schools designed everything. We are just copying, and we are relying on W3 schools. We are relying on W3 schools what? Styles. So that's why we are copying these and taking them in our code. So I'll paste this here, and after pasting, what are we going to do? Come back to W3 schools, and this is in H1 without anything. Then there is this paragraph over here, and for that paragraph and this paragraph over here. So what we are going to do, we are going to take these classes in the editor where we click this one over here. Then after clicking it, you can go to the block, click advanced, and then the class, we can put the class here, then update. And after doing that, we can reload to see how far we've reached in terms of being close. So looks like there's something we've not been saving, which might be the code. So come back here and save. Then I'll go ahead and reload. Okay, we've gotten the background. We've not yet gotten the color of the heading, and I think it's due to the fact that we've left this class which is not supposed to be there. Okay, and after that we can save, and after saving, I want to go, and sometimes I forget, sorry about that. So I can come over here, and yes, it's black. This is also properly aligned, but then we have a challenge, which is the button. Okay, now because the button, we can, unless we want to change this button to HTML, okay, it is not really ideal in my opinion. So what we are going to do, we shall delete this button from the entire block, and okay, we shall delete the entire block, and we shall add it, we shall add code it. So let me update this one. Now we are going to go to here and copy the code from here. Shall copy the code and take it in our WordPress theme code. Of course, this is not ideal, but this is what we can achieve at the moment. Why isn't it ideal? It's because someone might want to change the text on the button, and the reason we build WordPress themes is to make sure that they are extendable and easy to edit. So someone might change the button. This is when you can, this option here is it can be implemented using customizers or building things like optional pages, you know, and people can play around that. Okay, now we've hard coded it. That's what we could do in interest of time, and then we can, that's our thing. So our theme is coming up properly the way it's appearing on W3 Schools. Now what else can we do? The other thing we can do is add the menu, because you see that here there is John whatever, but when we go to our website, that's not there, so which makes our website hard to navigate. So what can we do in this case? We have to know how to add the menu, and the way we are going to do it is not really hard. We shall go over here. Here is the menu. You can see here it is. So we shall copy this code and take it below. We shall take it about in the, what place can we put it? I think since this is a one-page theme, we are going to go ahead and put it in the index, but in interest of it appearing almost on every page, we may just decide to put it in one of the header files for now. Below header, paste it over here. But remember that these are hard-coded menu items. that you don't want, okay, you don't want to put like that, because you want someone to go in their WordPress dashboard and be able to generate the menu. And you can see that this menu, the items are hashed, okay, you can see that. So we are going to go in WordPress dashboard and create a menu. So this is just a moment. Internet is not really doing me well, because this is taking forever to load, and that's not what I would like, but what to do? Oh no, what's happening? Is there something wrong? Okay, all right, so we shall go to appearance, and you can see in appearance is where we can do customizations, themes, theme file editors, but it's the same place where we have to do the menu editing from, but we don't have that option. Remember, we did not have the option for post thumbnails. So this is when you can go back to the functions.php file, okay, here in this file, and add support for themes. And how we do it, it's not really complicated, okay. So what we can do in this case is okay, so I can write another if function exists. I think I'm tired. Then I'll just call it WIT, and then I'll call it theme register menu, okay. So there is we are going to register menu in our function. So we create the function and we call it WIT theme register menu. I have a spelling error here, okay, fixed. And then inside here we can now register the menu. Now there is a WordPress function for registering menus. It's called register nav menu, like that, and you can write usually it takes the place where you want to register this menu, and then it's called the location, and then you put you put a name that you want people to see in the administration area to manage the menu. So once we add this, what else do we have to do? It should be we can now add this to, can add an action. The action essentially invokes the custom function we've specified, and I think this one can work in the init. I don't know why I usually love the init, but maybe I'm too used. All right, I've saved that. I'll reload and see if we have support for menus now. That's the first step you have to do to make sure that your theme supports menus. And you can see that the item has come. So if I click menus now, we shall see something which is really vital. And oh, we have an error, deprecated replace. So I don't know why that has come. So now you can see that there WordPress has made some menu items for us already. They are suggesting based on the content we have in the website, and we have the option for for selecting bulk, and we have if you click it, basically list of menu items selected for deletion. You see that? So they think you want to delete. Now we can just go ahead and write here primary menu, because you may have many menus. So you can just do that, and we may just expand and remove one item by one, just like that, because this is not what we actually want. So we can now leave this, but then go to WordPress and see. So the menu we have home, and home, if you remember the code we copied, had hash home, hash us, hash us, and hash wedding, hash rsvp. So what we can do in this case is simple. We can just copy these or write them in the custom, if you choose custom menu. So here in the URL, I'll put home like that. Then I'll go ahead and get another and click custom links. Then this one is if I go back, that is John, Jane and John. So I'll put the hash here. I don't know what it is the other side. So here it's us. All right, so I'll put us here, then here I'll put Jane and John. Add to menu. Yeah, there you go. It started over down here. Now you can collapse by clicking on this icon. Then you can add another custom menu item, which is wedding, and wedding has the hash wedding. So I'll just write wedding and then wedding over here, add. So link text is what the users see. URL is what takes someone to the different section of the site, and here we have RSVP or RSVP, yeah. So RSVP, and then here we have RSVP in capital, add to menu. Now once we do that, excuse me, there is something disable until next time. So create menu item, and we've created a menu item. Now down here in the menu settings, you can see we have two settings: add pages. This add pages is the reason why we found menu items here, because it's automatic. Then you can also see display location. So the display location is the location on your theme where you want this menu to be displayed. Now remember that we specified primary in our code. If you remember here, we specified the primary. So this would be the location, and the primary menu is what you've seen. You as a user is what you've seen here. So that's the first section. You enable your theme, you tell your theme to support menus, and then you create the menu, or you let users create the menu. You let them select the location, and after that you tell your WordPress theme, you specify the location in your WordPress theme. And let's see how to do that. So we can go here, WP, specify menu location in theme. Something like that should give us yeah, here there is navigation menus on WordPress developer website. So you can register menus, you can display menus. So if we want to display, once you've registered your menus, so the registering is what we've done. We've done two things: we've registered and created our menu. So once you've registered your menus, you need to use WP nav menu to tell your theme where to display them. For example, add the following code to your header.php. Mind you, it's not supposed to be header.php every time. Sometimes you have the menu in the sidebar, so you, the developer, has to know where. Okay, sometimes you have the menu in the footer, sometimes it depends. So but this is just an example, and you can specify your header .php file to display the header menu that was registered above. So for example, we can go and say WP nav menu array, then we specify this option theme location, and we can specify the header, the primary, if you remember. So I'll copy this code so that I don't write a lot, and indeed I'll go to header, and here I will just do this, then I'll do this, and I'll do primary, then I will do that, and then I'll save. But yeah, I've done it that way, but there are some things we have to remove, you know. So for now, let's see what we are previewing. You see, okay, let me, you know what, because I'm thinking that something is hiding the other, so I'm going to first remove this. Undo. Everything has been removed, so I'll first remove this, then save, and after saving I will reload, and we see that we don't see the menu. Now the question is why. We can view the source code and go to somewhere where it was supposed to display. So we don't really see anything like, oh, they are here, the menu items are here. The only difference is that they are not in the same HTML tags and classes as our as the ones in HTML that is provided by W3 Schools. So what we are going to do, we need to customize our menu, okay, and we can go back to here to the nav menus, and we can see that we can add other things like container class. You see that to customize how WordPress is actually doing or writing the code. Okay, so we know that, let's go, we know that in W3 Schools, we know that the menu has a class, it's in the div, and this is the class, and there's also another div. So what we can do is copy the class, then we can come to this container. You see that container class, so we can go and specify that option on the array here. So I will just press enter. See, this is not really aligned in the way I want. I don't know if it will ever fix it, but yeah. So I'll put a comma here, then I'll write container class, and I'll paste the class we've copied. Then after doing that, okay, let me delete this. And I really don't, this editor is really tough on organizing code, but it's okay. So we can reload to see if we've gotten that class, and I think we shall use the inspector now. So reload, and you see where our menu is down here. So I'll inspect to see how it's been made, and just a moment. So here is the code. Oh, I wanted to put this back. So you can see that this we've been able to get this, but then they have a URN ordered list. which has something. So we need to turn this unordered list into a div, and we need and to do that we need to go back to to the WordPress editor, and we see whether this can really be manipulated. So you can see that here they are telling you, if you say link before and you specify a link before, what is going to happen is that will display as. So they are trying to show you how the whatever display as. So they whatever the link before the link text, this is what is appearing. But for us, we want to override the list item and the unordered list. So how can we do that? They are talking of the by default WordPress displays the first non-empty menu when the specified menu or location is not found, or generates a page menu when there is no custom menu selected. To prevent this, use the theme location and follow back CB parameters. But I think we can go back to the menus and we see display condition, define callback, register menu. So I'm thinking that we can go, I don't know where this chatbot thing came from, but I think we can go ahead and say, we type here override WP unordered list on menus, and we see, yeah, because I think how to override. So overriding, which one is newer? Maybe I would go to this one. You can also search this in ChatGPT or anywhere. So someone is talking about something here, and he wants this, and the reply is say, there are a few ways to add. Oh, this one is talking about custom CSS, but then someone doesn't really want. So WordPress usually constructs its menus using another list, wrapping the list item entries. You would need to look into your theme and WordPress code to see. Oh no. I think okay, let's look at the WP menu fallback CB, because looks like it's the one we have to implement. Okay, looks like it's the one we have to implement. And where are they talking about it? Okay, I'll go here to wpexplorer.com, and here, of course, they'll give us ideas, and then call in your menu. So here it is, and how is it made? So now you need to create the file that the function added previously will grab and display when a menu isn't defined. Oh no, is that the thing? I really thought like overriding. So WP menu container. Okay, oh, there are container, and all right, let me use Hostinger and see if they are talking about it. Sorry, I'm trying to rush through because of time, but all right. So there is something here. There is configure menu class for your menu by default, menu ID, container. Choose what type of container to use for the menu. By default, the function uses div containers, and then container class set, yeah, that one we saw it, and then container ID and items wrap. By default, your menu will display in another list format. This parameter lets you configure how to wrap the menu items. So this should be nice. Items wrap is probably what we need, and then yeah, I will just research about this one. Yeah, items wrap WordPress WP, and then okay, looks like I found where items wrap WP nav menu. Okay, I think I just have to go in this documentation and then search through to see if I find the items wrap, so even them, they are specifying them. And do they have the items wrap? They have whether to echo depth worker. Yeah, there's something called a worker class actually that I had forgotten, but we have this items wrap. How the list item should be wrapped using sprintf format. Okay, now I'll search here items wrap, because I know some people, yeah, like now you see this, do you see that? So I can copy this code and then take it here and specify items wrap. Then I will put the it copied all the code. Oh, sorry, it copied all the code. I needed just a line, I think, because I clicked the other. So I have to undo, then paste. So instead of the unordered list, I'll just write a div, and in this div I'll put class, and the class, and do that. And then what can I do? Okay, I think I don't need the ID. Okay, just leave class. So, and okay, I need to put this and a comma here, otherwise we shall have issues. So let's see. Oh, look where I'm going instead of the code editor. So save, and we shall come back over here and reload. And so there is an error on line unenclosed on line 25. Really? So we shall come back line 25. So there is this, and unclosed. So really, I don't see. I cannot identify the error because I can see that this is closed by this, and they are talking about line 25. And why, honestly? So from location primary, this one. I really don't get the error here, but who knows? Let me first save again and then reload again. But I can see this, so which could be the reason. So save and then reload, unclosed, line 25 of header, like, on line 30. Yeah, so let me see line 30. Line 30 is here, but this is closed. So probably this string here is causing us problem. But then how best should we do it? So I can see Oh, no, 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 no. Just to, it looks to be okay, but could it be on these ones? Could it be on these ones? But then these are all string formatters which are correct. Yeah, this goes to the third, this the second, and then have one for first. And I put the comma here. So honestly, I cannot identify any problem. But simple. Let me use the editor messes up. Yeah, it says now line 28. So now it says an error, line 28. I don't really think that. What type of error is this? It's a pass error. Okay. I really never wanted to stop on this because I wanted us to complete, but looks like we may have to. Looks like I may have to leave it at this because I'm unable to identify the error. I thought this string was the problem, only to realize that the string is actually okay. Okay, you know what? Let me do this. Let me remove all of the code and save. I just want to be sure that the WordPress engine is not messing things up. Alright, looks like it's not messing things up. So I will go ahead and bring it back, and I can see PHP WP array primary, and so maybe these quotes I put wrong things. Who knows? I may have typed different symbols instead of what is expected. And by the way, the other thing is, how is does this just take? Yeah, it takes in an array. Okay, I thought it was not taking in an array. So looks like well, so let me alright, I will. Guess what? I'm gonna save and test again. Yeah. I'm gonna save and test again. See that? No error. Sometimes this thing can mess your life up, the editor. Yeah, but it's okay. So we have the ID we want here, the class we want here. We've changed the items wrap to div, and we can again change the class. Then we shall be left with removing the list items and leave the menus to be on, as simple as leave the menus to be on what? To be enclosed in the anchor tags as opposed to the list items. So how we do that, it will require us to do something called a nav worker, I think. But before going into the worker, we can have some parameter, I mean some option here, which is the menu class. And let's hope this is not gonna break things up. Menu class. And what's the menu class? We have to pick it from here, which is this is the menu class. Okay, copy, and we have to add it here as a string and put a comma, then we save. Now after adding that class, we have some other things to add. And what we're gonna do is, because they're added to different menu items, you can see here that each menu item has a class and it has a style of width 25%. So for us to add classes to these menu items, we are going to go to WP and we click screen options, then we click classes. Once we click the classes, it will enable a class option on every menu item. So we add that, and this is not required by every theme. It depends on the nature of the theme. So we can just do that. And after doing that, I think, let's see, I think it's the same for all menu items. I'm not sure, but I think it's the all. You can see it's okay. Maybe the last one has a different option, but all these are the same. So what I'm gonna do is to go to okay, to come to this one, add the class, then also this one, add a class, and on the last one, let me just go and copy its classes, like copy, and here. So now it looks like this is gonna be easy. So save that, and we've saved it. Now after saving, we can come back to browser, reload, and we see what we have so far. So far we have this. So we have this, which is not far off, and you can see it's even sticky at the bottom. And the is it functional? If we click Jane and John, it takes us to Jane and John. If we click home, it takes us to home. Click wedding, it takes us there. RSVP is also there. Home, yeah. So now all we are left with is to remove these, how do we call those, the underlines, and then we shall call it the end of session. How are we going to do that? The reason the underlines are coming is that our classes are not targeting some areas. Also, you've seen that the menu items we have are smaller than the menu items in the preview, simply because of the width and the width of each menu item. So to have the width, we have to, the best thing is to go and edit our style editor, which you can even edit from here by theme file editor, the WordPress editor. You can edit it, but because we are not extending the theme, we are building it, we shall retain our, you can see they give you a warning, but your style is here and your theme is here, which is the one that has been activated. And usually this area can bring problems. So what we can do is to go back to our editor, open the style from there, and come up with a class that will specify those, you can say item, menu item 25, and then width plus 25%. That's what I saw that they added on each menu item. Here I saw that each one has a style, and we don't want to use the style, so but you can see that each one has a style. So what we are going to do is the class we've created, which is, what did we call it? We called it menu item 25, or menu item WD, to mean width 25. So we can save this, then we can go back to our theme, we go back to the menus, and we can try out with one menu item. Can try out with one menu item. We go to its classes and add, we call it menu item WD25. So we can save that to see if it has created any effect or not. Then if it has, we can add it to the rest of the menu items. So let's see over here, it has not added. And if we inspect, we can see that this first one has the menu item WD25, which is how is it defined? Is it right? So we shall come over item WD25. So if we come here, looks like that class, or maybe I think I know the other problem. Could be that some could be the item button 3. So let's go back to our CSS code and we see if there's any code that changes the width of the menu items. I'm not seeing any code that changes the width of the menu items, but should we, I don't like doing this, but let's try. The important thing, I don't like it. Let's just try, and we reload. And also don't forget, this editor sometimes doesn't load certain things. So because like here I can't see the style for menu item, I can't see it. And yet if I inspect, or if I go in the head, I think I'll be able to see the style sheet. We added, is it there? How do we call this style sheet? We called it, I think, this one, you know. We added our style sheet, but I'm not able to see. Yeah, here we go. So if I click it, this is another way to see if your things are working. You can simply copy to see if your code has been loaded. You can copy this and put it in the browser here, and you can see that our code has not been loaded yet. So what can we do? There is something called a hard reset, but I forgot how to do it. I think it's okay, maybe for that case, maybe I can try previewing the site in this browser which does not have cache, and it has loaded, but still it's the same thing. I wonder why information that's in the style sheet is not loading, and I've been saving over and over. So we shall assume we shall assume that it's been affected, though I know it's not been, which is really bad. And also there are some styles that are not loading. Okay, I think now I know where it comes from. So for that case, there's something called a nav worker, okay, which can help us to nav worker class, which can help us to class, which can help us to do what? To manipulate how the HTML of each menu item is executed, is rendered. And you can see that here core class used to implement an HTML list of nav menu items, and it has and the element and the level. So ends the element output if needed, ends the list of a list of after the elements are added. I don't know what list of means. Starts the element output and starts the list before the elements are needed. So we need to find out how to implement it, and I have not seen examples here, but we can go ahead and I think there will be somewhere where we shall find the implementation, the example. So someone has a worker here, use a custom worker, and then but let me see what this person has. Fetch menu, well, assume it has an id of 2, and do what? Get many objects. This is our tree structure. Get and then implement and work the tree and render the returned output as one-dimensional array. So yeah, there's this option, but I don't know. So fetch the menu, well, assume, so this is if you know the id of the menu, which I don't think that this is really ideal in a theme. But then you can see that someone here is implementing a worker by creating their own class and extending the actual one, and then in this class they are implementing the function start element, which is where they say they are using the sprintf to format, and I can see that it's doing current class, and then okay, it's doing something like this. But is this really what will this really work? Yeah, looks like. Where I'm not really sure is sprintf. Okay, then put this, then object id escape, and okay, and define abstract methods here. All right, so looks like I understand it a bit. I don't understand it. I think I'm exhausted. So what's better to do is, since we've spent more than 2 hours, what's better to do is to look at this in the next session, and be able to to look at it